غرباء غرباء غرباء.
Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. We find, my dear brothers and sisters, many a times we look back on our life and we said, if only I could turn back time, if only I could do this, if only I could do that. Today I'm here to share reality with you, and that reality, my dear brothers and sisters, everyone agrees upon it, whether you're Muslim or not, and that is that every one of us will die. Every one of us will face death. But yet we find we do not prepare for this reality. But we prepare for all those things around us, be it an exam, a holiday, whatever the case may be. We like to prepare ahead for these things. But yet when we know something which is a reality, we don't look into our own lives and think, what can I do and what will happen once I reach the grave? Is that it? Am I just going to turn into dust and bones? And is that the end of this journey? We know, my dear brothers and sisters, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says in the Quran, كُلُّ نَفْسٍ ذَائِقَةُ الْمَوْتِ, that verily every soul shall taste death. And He also says, كُلُّ مَنْ عَلَيْهَا فَانٍ, that everything on this earth will perish. Everything around us will leave us. And that reality we see, my dear brothers and sisters, when we go to the graveyards and we bury someone. You may think and look up to someone who is rich, who is famous, be it a rap star, a singer, a footballer, a businessman, whatever the case may be. You may look to him and think he has reached the pinnacle of success. But we find that many people are committing suicide, because this is not the purpose that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala He created us for. He did not create us to chase these temporary pleasures. And when you go to the graveyard, you see the man who has entered the grave, or the woman who has entered the grave. Their family leaves them. They are all alone in that dark hole now. Their wealth has left them. Someone else will inherit their wealth. Their garment someone else will inherit. Their husbands and wives will move on and marry someone else, and that is the reality. But yet we find that we do not want to accept it. We think we will live forever. But look to those who came before us, who had everything, yet they perished. Everything around them perished, and we too will perish, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has promised. And were we not just a drop of sperm, not worthy of mention, nothing, we weren't even brought into existence. But yet Allah, He brought us out from this small thing which we wash away into such a creation, and we become so arrogant and have so much pride that we think, we're it. But then Allah, He shows us our weakness. That when you go to someone who is in hospital, or you see someone on their deathbed, you find this person is helpless. You find you yourself are helpless. You see all the doctors doing all the work to try and bring this person back. You see you just sitting there, powerless, weak, feeble individual who cannot do nothing to save the life of this individual. And that is the power of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala upon us. We find today we use our youth to chase worldly temptations, to chase the women, to chase after the fast cars, to chase after the money. The American dream is what they call it. We look to this as our goal in life. But yet we forget, why am I here? I was created and I was put here for a purpose. Yet we do not contemplate it. Many of us are born Muslims, yet we do not even pick up the Quran. How sad it is that we see the Quran on top of a shelf, and when someone dies, we blow the dust away and we open it. But we don't even open it in a language which we understand to see what is Allah saying. What does Allah want from us? We have everything under our noses, but yet we look for everything in worldly temptations and worldly pleasures. And Allah says, you will not find peace and tranquility. He says, verily in the remembrance of Allah do the hearts find tranquility. So my dear brothers and sisters, it's time for us to ponder and reflect. We are here in this summer, in this heat wave, and we are just being deluded and enjoying this life. But yet how many a times do you see someone gets a phone call and says your mother has passed away? Are we waiting for a calamity to hit us to say, you know what, that's going to be me next? Do we really have to wait for that calamity to hit us before we realize the truth? Before we give up our desires and say, you know what, and look back on our life and say, I was wrong. I wasted all that time sinning, disobeying Allah. So my dear brothers and sisters, think about it, reflect, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us of those who are successful, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala save us from His punishment and admit us into gardens underneath which rivers flow by His mercy. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdi ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta wa astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.